Welcome back, everybody. This is the DreamHack Denver Quake Championship Sacrifice Qualifier. We're in our lower bracket, and this is the last chance for our two teams. One team has already made it through into DreamHack Denver for Sacrifice, and it's going to be stacked that have achieved that. And now there's only room for one more team. We've seen Myztro do very well against Dreams and Magic just now, and they're looking for their run back against Wait For Us. But first, they've got to get through the Winrar licensed salesman. Now, this is a momentum train for Myztro so far. They were sent to the lower bracket earlier on by Wait For Us by absolute, like, the skin of their teeth. It was such a close match between the two of them, but unfortunately for Myztro, they were the ones to lose that match, and that's how they found themselves in the lower bracket. We just saw them just now take on Dreams and Magic, where they won the first map 100-0 round 1, 100-0 round 2. Map 2 still very dominant. They haven't dropped around yet in this lower bracket so far from what we've seen on stream, but their next opponents are going to be the Winrar licensed salesman, which is a great name by all means. Love it. But the players on this team is Juvenile, Liths, Sparty, and Bus Driver X. So the name might be a bit of a joke, but the players themselves are far from it. We know this is a strong team of players. They have been playing for a while now, all the way back to the QWC months ago, and here they are now still in this tournament, trying to qualify for DreamHack Denver, where they're playing for a big prize pot with 4 teams playing in total. 2 from Europe, 2 from North America. We already know one of the European teams, and there's only room for 1 left, and a few teams left to potentially take it. So Blood Covenant being our first map, it's actually quite a bit of a back and forth map, really. Both points are really good to defend and attack, but mostly, I think, Champions, they do play a massive part in this map because of just how you can navigate, but we do see a Doomslayer get picked on one side, which on this map, I'm honestly not surprised, because it's either Nyx or Doomslayer. I guess maybe sometimes both, but if you can effortlessly go on the high ground to any of those locations on Blood Covenant, it's like, well, Doomslayer can go anywhere he needs to without needing a wall to be there. So he gets a lot of mobility. He's got a good amount of speed, a good amount of health, a good amount of armor too. And, you know, not the easiest hitbox in the world. He's a little bit one of the smaller champions in combination with everything else he brings to the table. So I feel like it'd be interesting to see what we do here, but this is going to be map 1, and this is best of 3 maps and best of 3 rounds within that map. So we've got 50 seconds left off this warm-up. I'm going to put you on the spot once again, Myztro or Winrar salesman. Who do you reckon? I think in terms of if they keep riding the sort of momentum they've got going right now, I'd love to see Myztro take it, because we know Myztro have already had quite a success story in terms of sacrificing Quake champions. However, with our licensed salesmen, they're looking good still as well. I mean, I'd personally like to see Myztro take it, try not to be biased, but still, I think that'd be my pick to win, personally, but wouldn't be surprised if we see this go down to a close map 3. But there's plenty of players within the Winrar licensed salesmen, and the jokes are already being made in the chat. I see, would you like to buy a Winrar license for $9.99? And everyone's like, we're going to have to see that all game, aren't we? I think so. I think whenever there's downtime, they're just gonna sit in the chat. Just be prepared in the all chat. I'm just saying, be prepared for jokes in the all chat. But even players like, you know, Bus Driver X, for example, I mean, he's been playing Quake consistently. I think Champions, even though Bus Driver X is, to some people, maybe a relatively unknown player, but the thing about Bus Driver is Champions is kind of like the game he's starting to make a name for himself in. And in both Sacrifice and Duel, he's been doing quite well for himself, and he's getting better as each tournament progresses. Indeed, though, but Sparty on that Doomslayer, that's going to be the one I'm watching out for. We know that Berserk does give you that increase in speed. Can be great here, trying to go for that soul, and he is going to immediately die for it, but List is cleaning up shop. Oh, wow. Just complete anarchy all over the place. That's it coming down to trying to drop off the beat. No, he hits the roof, but Sparty there. I would pick it up. See how important it is to try and get through. Was he able to drop it off? It looks like he was. And as we go back in, we'll see. Yes, Winrar salesmen have been able to get that first capture. That first power up though. Oh, and Garpy comes out of the Ghost Walk with that rocket launcher. Gets himself that quad damage. But it's that variable pick once more. Garpy for this map has gone in for Nyx. Like, depending on the map, Garpy seems to change champion every single time. Oh, that's unfortunate. Also, Shades of Yesterday coming back. Rip. But here we go. The good thing is that they haven't really given up the quad on that. They were able to allow FaZe to collect, but they haven't been able to sort of seize this point just yet. I mean, quad damage is about to run out, but they're going to need to try and at least take the soul away. You know, there's no use having the power up. It doesn't help you get the objective at all. This is what Myztro are doing really good against Dreams and Magic. We're sort of struggling with themselves right now. There we go. Passes the soul through. Oh! The Bus Driver is waiting in the wings. Oh, but Hell takes him out point blank with a rocket launcher. But Hell himself dies immediately. This is looking much better for Winrar salesmen. And the danger is, as these fights go back and forth, I mean, you guys can all see it. The percentage is continuing to climb. It's left in limbo for a very short time, but it's not really enough to let Myztro get any form of advantage from this. Now, as I've said, that Hell has been able to drop off the soul.
Although when it comes to weapons, he only has a nail gun and a shotgun. Not ideal, but goes to the gauntlet, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. And it looks like Myztro are here in force. That was good. This is what Myztro were really good at last time, though. When they held onto the soul, their defending was just phenomenal. At the same time, Winrar, they have got quite a lot of a lead right now, but no real weapons for Juvenile aside from the shotgun at the start. Probably going to die here. Razy uses acid just to try and secure 3 frags on the side of Myztro. This is the kind of defense they need to hold on to if they can.
And just as short amount of time, they're starting to bring things back. On the verge of tying things up, 30 seconds away from this power-up.
That's enough time to at least even out percentage before the power-up spawns.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see which team is actually able to secure this, because if you look at these team lineups, I mean, they're both really good at denying a power-up from the other team. Slash does it fantastically well, so does Sorlag. Doomslayer having that really sort of unique element where he can kind of swoop in, take the power-up, and then use his double jump to get out of there, taking routes that most characters can't follow.
Still, though, going to be dropping off. The power-up's going to be up any second now.
That was a bunch of frags, though. They've been able to take so many, and because of it, Razy has plenty of health left and the protection. He's taking a lot of damage, actually. He's ambushed. He loses it completely and lives with the steal. That is unfortunate.
Still, though, Myztro were able to steal the soul. If they can at least drop this off before they inevitably try and siege it back, they can be much better off. Looks like Lith is hanging around trying to get himself a rocket. He is very low, though. Drickies can try and suicide pass off or just get some health. Looks like he just picked up some pickup.
Well, they're waiting for the power-up to dissipate for sure. They're just waiting until the timer runs out, and then I think FaZe is going to try and drop off the soul when it's not as risky. You know, if there's an opponent waiting there with protection and you're trying to deliver the soul as an anarchy, you're probably not going to be able to get there without them taking you out. And that's a very common tactic. You know, wait for the team to go in and just wait out the power-up timer. Now, as you can see, FaZe, he just needs to drop it off now.
Actually, really respectable patience too. FaZe is just waiting for a safe moment to drop off the soul. There's no
well, look how many members are waiting. I mean, like, he can't really push in.
I mean, there's no use just piling in, dropping it off, but dying immediately, because what you're going to do is give it away. But I promise he is being chased now. And she walks it all the way back to this obelisk too.
It's really bizarre. Actually, he's gone all the way back to the enemy obelisk, yet he still remains. This is quite an interesting run.
Because Winrar are very much content with seeing the defense. Oh no! Juvenile goes down from that distance.
Nice. That was good.
But all 3 of them now looking back towards obelisk A. Myztro here in force, so they can get a couple more frags. Safe drop off. Razy drops, but Garpy gets return frag. Garpy gets 2. Now is probably safe for him to drop it off. Is he going to go for it now? Quite sure. Really taking his time here.
Juvenile get the soul. Oh no! There we go. Razy with the cleanup.
I've got to say, that was commendable patience coming out that time from FaZe. Like, FaZe held onto that soul for a long time before dropping it off. But now he did find his moment, and it has paid off. 4.5 minutes in, but now Myztro are climbing onto his percentage. But the power-up's going to be up in about 10 seconds' time. Do we think Myztro are going to try and concentrate on this, or are they going to hold the soul as long as they can?
Oh, well, now they've got a couple of frags. They're probably going to try and fight for it, saving the acid spit for just such an occasion. And that was a fast double kill.
Now Razy, really well played by Razy, kind of single-handedly securing his team that power-up, getting 2 frags himself. This has put Myztro in the lead, and now they have the power-up too. That was a perfectly played sequence from Razy.
Well, I mean, Razy is one of the most dangerous players in the world when it comes to duel because of his combination of Sorlag and the LG, and you've just given him quad damage. Like, he will make magic happen with that combination.
Still, though, the quad damage now goes to Garpy, who's doing just as well. Very low himself, though, going to drop off the quad damage, but probably very near the end of its lifetime.
I'm assuming Bus Driver might only be able to get 1 frag, and unfortunately, yes, FaZe with the ambush on the gauntlet wasn't able to make a huge difference with the quad because it just wasn't up long enough.
Doesn't take away, though. Razy
nice throw.
Die. Oh, actually bounces back down to the bottom again. Didn't quite get the height he needed. Now Bus Driver's going to take the low route here, trying to get through. The rocket hitting the doorway, so Bus Driver doesn't take much damage.
Well, this comeback definitely isn't impossible. They've got 50% now, and Myztro with that 73. They just need to hold it for a short amount of time to even things out and maybe take the lead.
Perhaps, but Soul still very much on Winrar's obelisk, so it's going to be difficult now. Myztro has to go through. Power won't be up for quite a while. Hell, drop down.
Here comes Garpy, up behind. Ambush is going to be successful too. You see Razy following suit. A lot of heads on this obelisk now. They just need a couple of frags just to keep them far away, and then one of these players will be able to make passage. But just look, they're just on that bridge, peppering fire from the top. Spicy. Oh, a surprise. He's got Berserk as well. Wonder if he's going to be able to use it.
Depends what he's going to be saving it for. Juvenile drops it off again. Myztro still in the lead, but barely. Winrar probably going to be able to take the lead here. No! Manages to contest the Soul. Soul's now thrown down to the bottom, but it looks like already Winrar here trying to pick it back up again. Oh, hang on. The Soul, the Gauntlet, one of the most violent weapons in the game. coming through.
I mean, Anarchy with the Gauntlet is legit. It is such a lethal
Especially in
combination.
this mode, like with just how frequently you see players getting point blank to each other. The Gauntlet, it's a lot of damage by itself, deceivingly powerful.
Bus Driver hitting those 2 directs, well placed.
All Liths has the protection though. Winrar having the protection on Nyx.
And
This is dangerous.
Mega! This is going to be one difficult to kill Nyx. Now with the Soul, I mean, it's going to be very tricky to stop this advance back into the Obelisk. She's got so much health, a nice amount of armor with it. Been able to get the rocket jump to cover in so much space. That was beautiful execution. Hell goes flying off the map. And they've now got a good chance to take this round.
Still though, Myztro were able to build up a little bit of percentage, so they actually managed to extend their lead a little bit. Still though, the power-up's not going to be here for quite some time left. Winrar pushing sort of mid 80%. Oh, wonderful shot, good prediction. Fade.
Yeah, nice amount of rocket spam. It's just doing a good job.
It's kind of just zoning away certain points, right? It's not just aimlessly shooting, it's just trying to cover those options, those certain ways and routes that people want to take. Winrar, what is a very back and forth round, looking to maybe take this one at this rate.
They've taken the lead.
Hang on though, Garpy gets a nice double with the LG. This could be the start of something.
He's got 1 health. I mean, he just needs to do as much damage as he can before he inevitably goes out. No rail even needed, even though he did get taken.
Myztro. You got a good sequence of crap.
99% as well. That was last minute.
It was as last minute as it gets. And the power up here for about 40. If Hell can drop this off, he can. But they need to hold this on desperately. 99% for Winrar. Myztro approaching 90 themselves. Power up not going to save them here. This is going to have to be honest. Team versus
all
team.
4 members of the salesmen went down, which means they are going to somewhat sync up their spawn. So a 4-man push is going to be possible. But 30 seconds away from the power up, there's going to be no power up needed for this. They need to hold it off for 2 more percent. Is it possible? Here we go, 1 more.
I'm not quite sure if they have anyone here. They're contesting it. They're trying everything they can. Juvenile falls down. Garpy gets a cover Bus Driver. And Hell gets the Gauntlet to finish things off. Is that going to be a sequence of 3 kills to secure?
There it is. They get the percent they needed. And I feel like it's actually quite unfortunate that the final frag there was the answer to Berserk. We saw Sparty with that Berserk mode Doomslayer. If you see him there, just pop out the Gauntlet and rev it, and he's likely to run face first into the Gauntlet. I think that's exactly what just happened.
Well, that's currently, well, I don't want to say a direct counter to Doomslayer, because it's not like a beat.
It's an answer. It is definitely an answer.
Definitely an answer. If you hear Doomslayer go into that mode, you hear the Doom music start to play, he gets his fists out, you can get your Gauntlet out and try and go toe-to-toe with that melee fight that he's trying to do. It doesn't always work, but it can be a consistent answer, because he ultimately has to touch you, right? It's a melee weapon. It's what he does. And well played there, using the Gauntlet to counter it effectively.
Here comes the Soul. Oh wow!
Just,
I mean, you're really not. You're unlikely to survive that first burst. I mean, like both players are going to go for the Plasma Trail. Both players are going to have Soul-like spit. It's just going to be a matter of who can get out alive, and it's going to be difficult. But they get the drop off again. They've got it. They've got a good start.
This is exactly what happened last time though, and the power-up's going to spawn soon. Last time we saw Myztro opt to go straight for the power-up instead. Looks like once again they're going to try and capture this the best they can. This
Lovely rocket.
The quad is there. Yeah, I'll be very surprised if this doesn't go in the way of Myztro at the moment. So now we know they have the power-up.
Oh, misses the Mega on the way.
Still though, still able to pick it up. Now, can they get the Soul back quickly this time?
There's quite a lot of members on the Obelisk, actually. I don't think FaZe is going to be able to get picked out just as easily, because look how many people are there with it.
Just like the Obelisk gets a nice double kill with that LG. A third looking to go for it too. Won't get the credit for the kill, but Race is going to clean it up. He is getting followed here. Oh, the rocket doesn't quite connect. Still, Quad is just about to run out, but they were able to take away the Soul with it in time. That's kind of exactly what they needed. Lose the first Soul exchange, but get the first power-up. That's a nice way of bringing it back.
They're going to have to just hold off as a 4-man team for quite a while, because power-up has just disappeared.
Oh, wonderful mid-air rocket.
FaZe's rockets have been like sublime. That they have been so well placed throughout this entire map.
Almost gets a nice one there too, but won't end up needing it. Yes, his teammates there, and this is that teamwork. This is what Myztro have been doing so well. Their defense has been impeccable. So Juvenile getting a nice kill onto Garpy. FaZe going to return the favor onto Bus Driver. You can just hear the rockets, right? It's like the blitz outside. You can just hear rockets all over the place.
With that injection, going to put him nice and healthy temporarily, but there's a lot of players around there looking to take him out, but haven't really been able to get a substantial push just yet. I mean, like, the defense has been superb. They're now taking the lead, actually double the lead so far, 40% versus 20. And that is just continuing to climb. The defending is something Myztro have just been so superb at. Being hard to crack into. But it's their management. I think it's just their decision-making. And the power-up was a huge part of why they were able to actually get the Soul away from the Obelisk onto their own, and now they've got 50%, they're still going. I feel like the adaptation from Winrar might be, we need to make sure that they do not get that power-up at the beginning, because it's been such a huge element as to why Myztro have got that lead so early on.
So though, Juvenile able to quite uncontested get that route through using that top speed, just trying to get straight back to B. The power-up again, it looked like Myztro were happy to forfeit the soul in favour of their protection, and it is going to go to Razy on this Sorlag, who's already very healthy.
And he's got an LG, but is he going to survive? He took a lot of damage right there.
Oh,
No!
Wow. But no, Juvenile is right behind him trying to pick it up, and he is fully stacked on heavy armor too.
And he's got an injection, so if he's nearly dead, he won't care. He's going to pop it now.
Wow.
Still so much health left to work with.
That is one invincible anarchy right there. Unfortunately, Razy committing suicide with that rocket damage has given them all they need to do. Now, fortunately for Myztro, Winrar weren't building percentage at the time. They have now dropped it off, and they were able to buy a little bit of time beforehand. And the protection has now worn off too. So, not the worst case in the world, but wonderful sequence from Juvenile to just get so many frags there to secure that capture onto the obelisk.
Take one mistake, punish it greatly. Fantastic rocket there from Sparty too. But that might be the turnaround they needed. I mean, they're on the verge of bringing things back now. They only need 5% more and it can be nice and even.
Still though, we said this a lot last time, and we still were able to see Myztro come back to a full 100% in the end. Still, it was 99 to 100, it was as close as it gets. I mean, that might be foreshadowing for how close the rest of the series is actually going to be in the long run. Looking that way for sure, at least so far. Also, it looks like Myztro do kind of struggle to siege back the soul when they don't have the power-up. They seem to really rely on its power.
Oh, they're going to have another chance soon, but this is climbing up. I mean, their defense has been really good in this round.
It has been, indeed, but a lot of frags coming through the way of Myztro this time. But is it enough to get the soul back? It looks like it. Actually, looks like FaZe is holding onto it right now, but can he safely get it through? Last time we did see him patiently wait almost like sort of 20, 30 seconds before deciding to capture it off this time. But now he's got the mega health. Should be a little bit safer to go towards.
It's going to be much safer for him to deliver, because as you can clearly see, everyone is piling towards his power-up. That's where the fight's going to take place. Juvenile has got it, and it's going to be quad damage, and they get a clean wipe, but FaZe gets one rocket. Is it enough? No, it isn't. Sparty, he's got the pickup instead. But I think he's fresh off the spawn, so he's only got the starter SMG. He does have enough health, though, to survive, has the super shotgun. Now, this is bad for Myztro. It's quad damage from above. He's just peppering down as much damage as he can. Razy falls down, so does Hell. Double kill with a super shotgun. Sparty being a complete machine right now and has plenty of quad damage left to try and win this fight, but FaZe is going to take him down. They got a complete double. Garpy using the very limited time that remains of quad damage just to get that one extra frag. But they had the quad, but it didn't really last a huge amount of time. They only really had it to just enough quad to reach the obelisk, but not really do anything about it.
Oh wow, Juvenile just got annihilated in that situation. Garpy's perfect tracking on the lightning gun. Juvenile has been doing really well this game, though. That sort of entire quad damage sequence started off his kill streak.
Oh. Actually,
yeah, this is just a little bit taken down there. Juvenile behind to get the telefrag. Oh, I almost think he was going for it there, but there's that immediate injection pop from Juvenile. Juvenile's going to drop backflips from Sorlag.
That's
Sparty
it.
Drops too.
I reckon that's going to be game over for this one. They've got to try and defend, but they've only got 1% more. If they can just hold the fort, and they have been able to do it. They're going to get 2 straight rounds, and they're once again off to a really good start in this series. I mean, it's not over for them, but they've been able to get at least 1 map on the table.
That's good for them. I mean, that was really well fought for the most part versus Winrar license. But like, even then, it was very back and forth. But ultimately, it seemed to be at the end of the round. Like, a lot of it came through the power-up. I think Myztro's managing the power-up was a lot more stable than Winrar salesmen, because when Winrar guys had it, it was good for the situation, but they didn't really get many percentage off it. Whereas every time Myztro were able to take the power-up, they were able to use it to get the objective, which is ultimately what they used, but you kind of need to use it for, right? You pick it up to get the soul, to hold on to it, to attack it, to do whatever it is you need to do. So when Winrar guys had it, they weren't quite able to use it to the same level of effect, I suppose.
In many ways for Sacrifice, you feel like an early capture isn't going to be like the be-all end-all. Like, yes, the team has been able to, I guess, decide what obelisk they want to capture. They've been able to make life a little bit easier for themselves immediately. But it's a consistent thing that I've been watching Myztro do the entire time. If they understand that there's not a good chance they're actually going to be able to get the soul early on, they do pile in for that power up immediately. And it's something, it's almost like it's just a strategy they've agreed on. Like, all right, guys, if we don't get it, this is our compromise. This is our plan B. So even if you don't get the soul straight away, you've actually got that means to take it back. And especially seeing as, you know, now in this version of the game, the power up spawns so early too. I mean, it didn't used to. It used to spawn, you know, about a minute or so afterwards, after the match has started completely. But not this time around. You know, it starts to spawn a little bit earlier, so you kind of just get that choice. And you have to make that choice. Do you want to get percentage, or do you want to get the power up and risk it? Because in many ways, it's a big risk going for power up and conceding that. But so far, they've been able to play it really well.
Well, it depends what you use it for, right? It seems to be every time their power-up goes for, Myztro has a 4, you just go, right. Doesn't matter what the situation the soul is at, the power-up is spawned.
Yeah, they just ignore soul completely.
Because if they're holding on to the soul and they get the power-up, it's like, right, they've managed to take the soul, but we've got the power-up now, so let's just take it back. Or if the enemy team has a soul, it's, right, well, having the power-up is just going to help us attack it even more so. So it seems that they will always favour going in for the power-up, and it's working out for them. I think they're controlling the power-up better than any team we've seen today, with perhaps the exception of Stat, considering they are the ones that have already qualified in the winner's side. But what champion do you think we actually see Garpy go with? Yes, Burial Chamber goes back to Ranger. It looks like Garpy has that designated champion pick for the map every time. Because every time we get Burial Chamber, he's going to Ranger. We saw him on Lockbox, Galena. I've seen that twice today. And then
so essentially, I feel like Garpy's champion picks will be Blood Covenant Nyx, Burial Chamber, Ranger, Lockbox is going to be Galena, and then obviously on Sarnath, he goes in for Clutch. That's just like, it seems to be like the team strategy is right. I'm on this map, I'm going to go with this champion, and it does work out, to be fair. And it means the team is not going to be as, I guess I don't use the word predictable as such, but there is that extra spice that you kind of need to be worried about, because one champion difference can make all the difference in a game as team-focused as Sacrifice.
I will say, though, I'm concerned for Winrar licensed salesmen here, because this is the map that we saw Myztro 200% to 0 against Dreams and Magic. This is clearly a map that Myztro are very confident on, because they won in as one-sided of a way as the game will physically let you win against Dreams and Magic. And they looked really good doing so. It wasn't really a fluke. Like, they consistently looked really strong. And now they have Burial Chamber again. They're 1-0 up in this series, so they now have a map that we've seen them be incredible on, and they now have to win this to move on towards that qualifying game.
Well, there's a lot of talent on the side of Winrar salesmen. You know, they've got a lot of experience in Sacrifice, and at this level of competition, I don't think teams are likely to sort of choke, almost go on tilt anyway, because, you know, I don't think that's these players' style. So it's going to be a new map, and it's a refreshing chance to try and do things better than the guys did last time. But we're going to go into Burial Chamber. This could potentially be the final map, or it could be the map that sends us into a map number 3. Either way, Winrar, they desperately need this win.
So the Hell got one early frag there with the Gauntlet, but it's going to drop down before we can get another one. That first soul spawning at 5 seconds time. And 20 seconds total. The first round spawning, Lift going in for that Ghost Walk. But all the acid, no way is that strategy going to work against a team with this much area denial.
I think before we saw people go with Slash and Sorlag in every team comp, that sort of like assassination, going for the Ghost Walk and steal the soul used to work really well. Now, I just don't think it does. You teleport into absolute death, and there's nothing you can do about it. You've lost your invincibility by going in there in the first place.
That was actually such a clutch decision there from Sparty, though. Knowing that, like, the odds were against him, he was definitely going to die in that situation. He pops the Berserk, tries to get the speed increase, and then just literally just pelts it straight for the Obelisk to try and capture it before dying. And even though he died, like, milliseconds after capturing it, he was able to capture it first, and that's the important thing. And Hell, just running rings around this Obelisk, trying to hold on to it. This is good for Myztro. They now have it.
This location's a lot more out in the open. Those rails become such a threat, especially if you are the attacking team. You know, you're going to spawn near that rail room, so it's not going to be exactly difficult to just take that detour. You know, get that one weapon that you need. You can pick people off as you go in. If they try and fight back and escape, you can see them as well. Lots of good vision here. Been able to seize it. Here comes the attack.
Did wear off, but Sparty was able to get a lot of kills beforehand. Going to capture this. Now, how do Myztro attack? We actually saw them on the side of Obelisk A both rounds. They were able to win 100 to 0, and now they have B. So it'll be forced to see how they can play on the other side. Oh, you've now missing 2 rails, unfortunately. Missing 3. There we go, hitting the 4th one, though. Shaking off those mistakes.
But unfortunately, the thing is, in this game mode, missed rails, they can make a huge difference. You may think, you know, there's more targets, maybe I have more chances to land these hits, but I mean, one missed rail can be the difference between a capture and not a capture. And if they capture it when there's 1% left, I mean, like, that's it. That is a punishing rail.
Or just as you can say, you just saw that rail narrowly missed there. Hell is able to use that split second he's now alive to pop that plasma trail and go towards the Obelisk. And if he does, he's passed over to his teammate, where he's going to capture it. And that one missed rail, right as you can say that, has given Myztro the Obelisk back, and now they're holding on to it, looking to try and get back into the lead.
the defense. They have got to get Juvenile out of the way. They've been able to do that. Is he very weak? Can't really take anything.
Oh, Litz getting 2 frags with that rocket launcher, looking for a third. They do it in time. He has not enough health left. And there's a mid-air rocket onto Hell. Litz, a one-man army, getting this back, throwing the soul off map.
That was a nice little play. Going for the reset and then actually use the mega health that you've just acquired. Try and steal the power up. Spawned Bus Driver. Solag with the protection. One of the most dangerous champions in this game to hold protection with, without a shadow of a doubt. And Razy, I mean, he can't win this 1v1. He's doing a quarter of the damage Bus Driver's going to output.
See him though, trying to keep that distance, trying to stall out. He's going to die in the end. And there we go. Drops off the soul towards the middle anyway. Gets picked up immediately by Myztro. Even though Garpy did fall, the soul is still here. And all of this power-up time has been spent with Winrar not building any percentage. That's actually not so bad for Myztro.
Well, you saw it yourself from Myztro. They had the soul, but they actually weren't trying to deliver it. They were sort of just, once more, wasting the time, running around, being hard to spot. Can't really take out a soul lag with protection if you're holding the soul. I mean, you're just going to give it up for free, really. Bus Driver. Able to hold it now. Taking the lead too.
This is ultimately what they need to go for, though. We can see Razy just sitting outside waiting for his team to get in. As soon as they can get close together, they can go in as a unit. Oh, Razy's going to get frag onto Litz. This has been one of the star killers so far on the side of Winrar, but Sparty can get that frag on Razy, and the second one. But Hell, actually to get a return frag too, and so trading things out. 3 on the side of Myztro. Probably going to get the soul back at least here. Ooh, and Litz forced to go for the Ghost Walk. The injection popped. Nice rail from Litz.
Oh, FaZe as well, walking right into that.
Oh, good shot, even though Garpy's taken him out. He was able to slow down the progress of Myztro, but still able to run through, it seems.
That's unfortunate. Actually takes the ticking damage, so everyone's going to be able to sort of see him, and they're gonna communicate that to the rest of the team, particularly because he's holding the soul, and they just head him off. Gauntlet guaranteed. Bus Driver being the ultimate bouncer, really.
I mean, even though Winrar were dying over and over and over and over again, they were able to immediately spawn and get exactly where they needed to be. That was just a really good, just denial opportunity to stop Myztro from safely getting back. And now Winrar are slowly but surely creeping up towards this lead. Oh yeah, damage goes towards Hell, who's very weak. He's going to have to either pass this long or heal up as soon as he can.
Tactical suicide, pass the quad over to Garpy. But, what damage? I mean, even though you output the damage, you are still highly vulnerable. So Garpy's going to want some armor before he goes into that base. If he can get this heavy, that's going to be like best case scenario.
Oh
but Razy!
no! Razy picks it up instead!
You greedy man.
Still though, able to contest, but if he dies here, he's not going to be happy about that.
He's got the soul. But he has to be careful. Oh no, the rocket!
I hate to say it, but having heavy armor definitely would have helped him survive that situation.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh, the speed boost, but it's not enough.
Let's drive out through his own here, but FaZe only going to take that frag down. And Garpy has it again. Can he drop it off in time? Yes, he can.
Unlike what you mentioned earlier, where they've been able to sort of cause a bit of a hassle, a bit of a nuisance, but they've not really been able to claim any percentage. Still alive too. And that's going to be the health and armor of Doomslayer. I mean, he has got a little bit of extra health and armor that you might expect.
Oh no, Juvenile halted. He tried to get that speed increase, but he was blocked off. FaZe able to take the soul, is now dying to that damage over time, but health will keep him alive.
It's a really nice little corner with those 2 little healths. Been held off point blank, but the gauntlet. Oh no, we can't quite survive in time.
So though Razy able to drop it off, Myztro playing together a lot stronger now, but still Winrar do have a considerable lead.
Yeah, but Winrar, they're pretty far away from this point, and fresh off the spawn, I mean, they're going to have to spend a couple of seconds just to get those weapons along the way. You really can't push an Obelisk with those default weapons. That is going to let Myztro get a little bit of percent without being challenged too heavily.
And there's that sort of Sparty zoning tactic. And Sparty using that Doomslayer double jump. Makes himself very hard to hit there, forced to go to the LG instead.
Oh, quick.
Yeah, nice surgical rail coming out of Litz. Trying to push on. Looks like there's only one member of Myztro here trying to hold on, and Garpy's going to die away. A few seconds away from the power-up being spawned, though.
You're going to telefrag onto it. No, mistimes it by the fraction of a second.
Take Razy had a protection. Bus Driver has it now, but very weak. Has a few seconds, probably going to pick up. Literally, just 2 health things alone is going to help him survive a lot of punishment.
Especially with the heavy armor, too. They're trying to deliver. Hell, I mean, he wasn't really going to be able to challenge that. There's the drop-off. A nice amount of protection left as well. Bus Driver is going to make this defense very strong.
These next few seconds are going to be tough for Myztro to come through. And now Winrar have it again, so again, we're approaching that later point of the map where almost 90%. Every second is going to count here. Myztro coming together. You can see them slowly but surely trying. Hell gets a frag on the outside. Oh! Lost driver. Can he fight? No! Hell manages to take him out too. Razy falls to Sparty, but another kill. Hell eventually drops. This dies too.
They haven't got a lot of time to make something happen though. The percentage says they've only got 4% left, but no! FaZe, he gets clipped by 1, and that's going to leave him weak enough that I think anything will do right there. They have to stop Juvenile from delivering. They need to be so careful. He drops it off. This might be the end.
They are contesting, but still 98, 99. That 1% left to go. They're going to try and stop it. 1% is all they need, and all of Winrar here. It is just complete chaos. Left, right, and center as Winrar looking for that final percent. They are being contested. Is that going to be it?
I think Hell going down is just guaranteed that one. I reckon it's going to be 100% versus 61. That was quite a marathon of a round. I mean, 8 minutes. It's definitely not short by any sense of the word, but that is just 1 round of the potential 3. There's plenty of work to go.
But this is an important game for Winrar salesmen. We know they're 1 round up, but down a map in this first of 2 map setting. So Myztro, they just need to win this 1 map. But that's a really good way of Winrar to bring this out, I think, just to make sure they can keep themselves in. I mean, this lower bracket, right, you've lost that extra chance, that safety. So if you lose now, that's going to be it. But still, Winrar playing very well.
So we go into what could be the final round. Had a nice start. It's going to be enough to sort of keep them away from being able to respawn on those weapons. They can have to sort of just pile in without them. Oh, so many frags.
I think all those frags might have guaranteed this for Winrar at that start. Another frag too. Juvenile has just been on a complete tear already, and quite fitting that he'll be the one to drop off. And again, they secure themselves Obelisk A. This was the Obelisk that Myztro went for themselves at the start of their game versus Dreams of Magic. So taking that away from Myztro 2 games in a row, that's important. Juvenile really has been at the center of all of this chaos disruption for Myztro.
I think the start of that round, it was all Juvenile.
And he's still looking to push the protection. Juvenile, look at how well he's playing.
That was impressive stuff. And it's been great for the team. He's not going to be able to get away with that one alive. He was able to sort of get enough frags there to secure both the soul at the very beginning and the same thing again with the power-up. I actually love the fact that it's Bus Driver X that has collected the quad too, because the default health and armor with the soul like already being incredibly high. Combine that with the fact that she's got the acid spit, she's got a nice amount of weapons with the quad. You can't really push in this without just dying just like that. Turn to paste.
Back to back. One with acid and one with the shotgun. Bus Driver looking really good here.
I think the start of this round could not have gone better for Winrar salesmen.
I don't really see how much better it could have gone. They have the soul, they have the power up. You know, now they have just lost it. Clean 35%. Juvenile managing to deny as well. Razy's still going through, but quickly losing all that health. Only has a lightning gun. Gauntlet in hand. If you can get the mega health, it is
he
there.
Gets it.
Oh, that was so well played by Razy.
Clutch rocket jump. I mean, using the speed boost he was gaining from the enemy projectiles. And if he didn't get that mega, he was going to die from that rocket jump. He had to make sure he played that perfect.
If that mega health wasn't there, he would have been dead for sure. Like, he was just going around that corner like, please be there, please be there, please be there. And it was indeed. That was a nice jump. But unfortunately, though, already lost. Myztro have lost that point, and Juvenile is now looking to bring it back himself.
Rest of his team to follow. As you can see, Myztro, they are lying in wait. They have to win this group fight if they want to push in.
Heavy armor for Juvenile too, really well played. Now he finds himself fully stacked and he controls the soul back. Obelisk 8.
Oh, that was a clean little rail. Lots of members piling in. Not really able to win this fight though. Once again, Sparty cleans up.
FaZe taking it through, but can he safely get through? We already know that Winrar are good at stopping him on the way. FaZe taking a very long route here, just trying not to run into any trouble.
It's really crisp movement coming out of FaZe. Being able to maintain that top
but he's not making any progress. That's the problem here.
I think it's because he has to be as unpredictable as possible, right? He has to hope the rest of his team clean up a couple of frags so he's able to safely take it in. But Juvenile, he's got protection, and he's going to be going in.
Just they have not had the same level of control over the power-up in this map that they had before. You can see Juvenile effortlessly just walks in with the protection. Definitely not going to be a risk of dying here in this 1v1 unless he makes a big mistake. Doesn't even want to fight it. Just trying to run away. Doesn't even need to. FaZe follows him. Goes down Juvenile.
Oh dear.
Can keep himself alive. I mean, can he even die at this point? Hell with the gauntlet. Hang on a minute. Hell doing so much damage out of nowhere. Razy, can he stop him?
I can't. He survived the whole lot. I mean, he died now, but who cares? He's just dropped it off.
That's so well played from Juvenile. Just keep himself alive through all of that time. 3 members of Myztro individually trying to stop him, and he just shook all of it off. Now 56% and climbing. This is such a better game for Winrar this time.
Had a fantastic start, and they've been able to keep that momentum. Only rockets left in the tank there, so he's going to be able to sort of deny that entrance for quite a while.
Forces the acid out of Myztro as well, so Razy's not going to have that for a while.
re-emerges in the acid spit, so unfortunately is actually going to kill himself on that.
So this should be a nice capture for Myztro. This actually looks like, yeah, 3 of the 4 of them already on Winrar there, trying to stop.
Oh, Bus Driver lying in wait with the gauntlet, and he is going to secure the frag, goes in for the quick reset. Now the fight's going to take place back into the middle. Who's going to win this exchange?
It went towards Myztro again, but again, Winrar is still here.
But the problem is Garpy fresh off the spawn, all he's got is an LG.
Oh, and throws the soul right up to his opponent. Unfortunately, Bus Driver waiting in the wings to pick it up. He is going to take it. This should be a safe capture.
Yeah, Bus Driver doesn't even want to go in for the small health. He's going to try and get back to the base as fast as possible. FaZe, he has also gone in for this reset.
That's rocket launcher too. This could be important. It's always there. Oh, he's picked up Juvenile, trying to get it through. 45 health. And he is going to get it here. There we go. 30% left to go.
Now here comes the power up. Now, it's going to be quad damage. Garpy has it, but once again, I mean, his only real ranged weapon is going to be that regular machine gun, and he's not really able to get the health either because Juvenile with the surprise rail. Crazy comes in to collect. But even him, I mean, the quad damage, you're still going to be vulnerable to anything and anything when it comes to weapons.
Good frag from Hell. Another one back to back, putting the squad damage to good use. Should be able to drop off the soul here. I don't think Winrar have enough people to stop him, but holding it is going to be the problem. They do have the quad, or the injection is popped. Oh, well, no. Winrar are losing so many people now.
Garpy actually securing a telefrag right there.
Yeah, very clever. Still, Myztro, they are massively down on percentage. This is going to be tough to bring it back for Myztro. Winrar, very much in the lead, but still looking good. Oh, Liths gets a nice quick snap to rail.
The danger they find is that, yes, they're climbing their percentage list. I mean, he's on 10 health, but all he needs is one good rail, and he might be able to even things out. They've got the soul. This is bad news. Very bad news indeed. Bus Driver, full speed ahead. And there's the drop.
Oh, not quite. Unfortunately, not put off immediately. Still, enough. Doesn't look like anyone in Myztro is here ready to stop them just yet. But that's a very stacked up Bus Driver, like maximum armor, most of his health. They get held quite easily, but still very much outnumbered here. But they haven't quite seen him yet, it doesn't seem like. And Garpy's going to drop. Sparty getting a nice LG kill. Injection popped out of FaZe.
They've only got to get 5 more %. I mean, they've just taken the double kill, but if they don't get the soul, it's going to count for nothing. Winrar, they just need 2 more %, and they're going to win the entire map.
It looks like Myztro don't look anywhere near as confident on this map when they haven't got A to hold. They need to desperately hold on to this as much as they can. Razy trying to get there as fast as possible. The one person waiting.
He gets
one of those quick rocket jumps. Razy with that knowledge.
That was a really funny angle as well. That definitely could have gone pear-shaped.
So this is an important capture for Myztro. The power-up's going to be up any second now. They need to try and deny them this. Oh,
is going to be successful.
And Liths gets the protection. No. This is disastrous for Myztro. They lose the protection, and one by one they are dropping here. Juvenile picks it up too. This is tough for Myztro, as it looks like Winrar have the soul.
Oh dear.
Over to Juvenile, catches it in the air.
That entire play where Liths went in for the tactical suicide, he allowed Juvenile to collect the protection, and that protection has allowed him to completely guaranteed run the soul back. That might have actually been the play that has won the map, and it is indeed. I mean, that was perfectly executed.
That was so well played. Winrar getting that final protection at the end, even though, again, they lost the soul immediately and then put all their eggs into the basket of trying to get hold of the power-up again. Because if the power-up is protection, which it was, you give that to the right person, you have someone that is nigh invincible, so hard to take down. And when it's someone like Juvenile that was already having the round of his life there, I mean, how can you stop him? Juvenile really was. The whole amazing start they had came down to how Juvenile played at the start. And quite fitting that he was eventually going to make that final play to win the game himself. Like, that final round was all Juvenile. He played so well.
It just came down to the fact that at the very start of that round where he just went on a bit of a killing streak, and it pretty much just meant Myztro were unable to contest the soul. And then the exact same thing happened when the power-up was starting to spawn. I think they must have realized that almost like conceding the power-up at the beginning of the first map, which obviously was Blood Covenant, was, I don't want to use the word mistake, but it was something they wanted to do something about. You know, they didn't want to allow it to happen again, and just taking that away from Myztro in those 2 rounds allowed them to get the map they are clearly more comfortable on. I mean, they played substantially better on Burial Chamber, but at the same time were able to sort of take that advantage and just keep it, keep it to themselves and then keep Myztro as on the back foot as possible. And just like that, it's going to be 1-1 on these maps. I believe this next map is going to be on a Lockbox. So we're actually yet to see Tempest Shrine picked today, at least on this stream. I know it's been picked earlier in the tournament, but players are really trying to keep and stick to these traditional maps that at this point they know very well.
I mean, it's not too surprising. They've had so much time to practice on these maps as it is, and even though Tempest Shrine, they've had enough time to practice a little bit. They just simply haven't had the same amount of hours to get used to it. But even then, the fact that it's lockbox leads me to believe that we're probably going to see Galena coming out of Garpy. This has been his sort of go-to champion pick.
Or does he switch
the majority of
it up?
the time? He
That's
might
the
switch it
question.
up. I mean, ultimately, we have to remember this is lower bracket action, so the loser of this match is going to be eliminated from the tournament completely and lose their shot of going to DreamHack in Denver, where they can play for that prize pot among the 4 total teams that are going to be there. And we know that Sact is waiting, and only one of these 2 guys can move on to join them. And now we're down to 1 map apiece. This is going to be the final map. This one single map will decide who moves on. And again, this isn't even to qualify. This is to get to the next stage where they will then play to qualify against Wait For Us, who fell to Stacked in the winner's side.
I've got to say, I do like the fact that Sparty has been sort of sticking to that Doomslayer. I feel like, you know, in many ways you would pick Ranger because like the well-rounded stats, the good speed, the good movement. I feel like Doomslayer actually brings the same kind of thing to the table, but I feel like he just seems to be a little bit more chunky, a little bit chunkier. And then he's also got the fact that he does get that instant, I don't want to say burst of speed, because I know that's definitely not what is going on. He just gets his top speed instantly rather than having to accelerate.
But that still technically is a burst of speed if you're not at that speed at the time.
But on something like Lockbox, where, you know, one berserk can essentially take you from, if you're really efficient with it, one berserk can take you from one obelisk to the other in almost the entire berserk sequence. It's a very powerful tool to have. Comes the champion select. I mean, we kind of know what champions everyone's going to go with here. The question is, what is that pick for Garpy? And it is going to be Galena, so it's consistent. It's map specific, but it's consistent.
So, the Galena, we saw it do a lot of work beforehand. Again, this was a map that they were able to take over Dreams and Magic, and the Totem had a lot of part in that. I think just the utility of healing your teammates, having that area denial, being able to put it at the exit of teleporters, especially
usual
over,
stuff.
Especially over heavily contested areas like the power-up, which has already been so important here. On the obelisk, which people just want to ram in and try and contest or try and take back as much as they can. And Galena kind of just puts a bit of a spanner in the works in that sense. And because she's not very popular in Sacrifice now, I think it's not something that every player is going to have a lot of experience practicing against, knowing to play around there being a Galena on the enemy team. So hopefully this works out for Myztro, but at the same time, we know that Winrar licensed salesmen are looking so good. I mean, I'm still trying to say that with a straight face, but it really is not easy.
Overtime, my friend, overtime. So just remind you guys at home that may have just joined us, this is an elimination match, but this is being map 3. Essentially means that both these guys have one more chance. The winner of this doesn't necessarily qualify for DreamHack just yet. They still have to qualify by facing off against Wait For Us, who are waiting in the next stage. But this is the map that decides which of these 2 teams is going to move on to face that team for a shot at DreamHack Denver. So it's very, very important. Both of these teams are going to want the shot at the LAN. There's a lot of money on the line. And so shortly after the QWC, these guys, they want to continue that momentum. They want to remain a top team in Sacrifice.
Still, though, this is going to be their final map to try and qualify for DreamHack Denver. There is 1 map left in it. 1 apiece to Winrar, Salesman, and Myztro Gaming. And that 20-second spawn on the first soul is going to be so important, considering how snowball heavy this has been for both players, being able to just control that first obelisk they want to be holding on to.
They're going to trade 1 for 1.
Alive. Oof, 2 of them go down. Myztro losing 2 people here as the soul goes in. Razy dies 2. This should be an easy confirm to go in for Winrar. They are going to hold on to it. So they decide Obelisk A is going to be theirs for the rest of the round. It's huge for them to secure that as early as possible.
It seems like a favoured obelisk. I don't know whether it's just because teams just prefer defending on it. I don't know whether they find it easier to defend on, or maybe just naturally how the fights tend to go at the start of map. That just might be the point that players gravitate towards. But either way, so consistent. And just like that, we might have 20% in early fashion.
Maybe. That power-up is already on the side of Myztro, though. He's going to be on FaZe, going with that quad damage. He can like damage for distance, but hell! Getting 2 kills on that lightning gun, and FaZe able here, trying to contest, take this back. Oh no! It's not to FaZe, but it hits the corner! That's going to slow them down valuable seconds. Now the quad damage is going to be going away any second, but no! Still able to use that time to secure, pick us up the heavy armor. Very smart decision from FaZe, taking that detour. Or waiting with a gauntlet! Yeah, FaZe is pretty sick and tired of waiting for going around corners being hit by gauntlets.
Oh, well, as we're going to play as again, the problem is the time it took for him to actually get there and deliver the soul was the time they accidentally wasted by fumbling the soul toss.
So they was able to drop it off, so they're able to get a little bit of progression going on here. All getting a frag onto Sparty, so Myztro able to stabilize it somewhat. We can see there's loads of Winrar people here trying to take it back.
Oh, As long as he hits these rails, Razy was just unable to hit the mark.
I mean,
and I think
Sparty hit 4 for 4 rails there at that range too. Like, that was impressive.
it was also Doomslayer's double jump. Was that you're sort of so used to having to sort of follow certain areas with the super nail gun. You have to aim so far in advance of where they're going to be. Now you're fighting a guy that's got a double jump, and it's like, well, when is he going to double jump? Where do I shoot these nails? It's very hard to deal with.
Hey man, Sparty's been using this champion very well and looking to continue that at least here. Bustrava trying to go through, but 3 of Myztro taking that detour, not getting hit by the acid, but there's a gauntlet waiting for him in hell. Try and drop off. You know they're going to drop that, throw that soul as far away as possible where they know they're guaranteed to die. Still though, Sparty able to take a frag out there.
Completely surrounded. They're on the lead. Goes into the totem, so he takes big damage. Doesn't matter too much. They've still been able to drop it off, and there we go. Percentage climbs once again. Power-up going to be up in 10 seconds time, though. We know Myztro, a lot of their success comes from being able to control the power, but they lose it again, they might be in trouble, but they are all here, painting that plasma trail, trying to guarantee. But that is a lot of Myztro, and it's going to be hell on this map. I don't know what it is about hell on this map, but he so consistently is able to just get the power-up every single time it spawns.
Just use the plasma trail. I mean, that's what it's there for, but he does it better than most at the moment, especially on this map. Running in with the gauntlet, trying to stop him, but no, still to no avail. Yeah, get hold of it. All of them have respawned already though. Sparty drops. They have to try and make as much distance as they can. Trying to get through. Very weak. Acid ticking down. He might actually die.
Oh,
no,
Juvenile goes
himself
down. That was a clutch rocket. If that didn't work out, he would have died, and he may not have delivered that soul. That was clutch.
Oh, wow. It just hits the wall like maximum speed, splats against it. Only 6 health inside of hell though. He needs to top himself up as fast as he can so he can defend. Well, we know that Myztro are down at the moment in terms of percentage quite considerably, but they are holding on. See how quickly they can turn around, but hold this on well. And defending is what they really were good at before on this map, but it looks like Winrar are just getting the better of them again. They managed to take the soul away. Most of Myztro fell there in that defense.
They're only able to defend it for so long, I suppose, against Winrar so far. They've had a hard time being able to really sort of keep it for any extended period of time. And because of that, I think that they're so consistently staying behind. Comes Juvenile trying to find a safer passage. Oh, point blank into Garpian with a stack like that. And a direct. That was guaranteed.
Right, that's going to be a capture. So the obelisk is being held once again by Winrar. Oh, wow, big damage coming through, but it is Razy. Solag's going to take quite a lot of punishment before she goes down. Oh, big direct from that distance. That's going to, at the very least, get Garpy to sort of back off and try and heal himself up before going in.
Juvenile has had some of the most ridiculous rockets throughout this entire series. Like, he really has been an MVP so far, I feel, in this set. Oh, Razy can't quite use the teleporter! He was inches away to safety. Garpy, he's been able to seal it. There's the totem just to put himself up to be healthy. Hell with the cleanup also.
FaZe has the quad damage. He is going to drop it. It's going to get picked up by Winrar.
No.
That is bad news for Myztro. And there's a shotgun too. 2 kills with it.
Dearie me. I mean, what can you do? There's an Anarchy going full speed right in front of you, and he's got quad damage. Yeah, I feel like he jumped on the totem. The totem almost actually took away the quad damage right there.
Very nearly, but he did have maximum health.
Oh, no. Securing that quad is what's made it so difficult for them to push forward. Juvenile just moving forward just a little bit extra. Use up as much of that quad damage as physically possible. And this is looking very difficult for Myztro.
Right, heal the acid. Both Sorlags going down for it, but still. Juvenile, 86%. Does go down to Garpy, but still 90%. This is a really good round for Winrar. After all of this, still managing to maybe bring the rest of this back.
And it was a solid first map for Myztro as well. It's just that these next 2 maps, they just have not gone the same way at all.
It's been hard for them, but FaZe able to sneak through. No, misses a jump. And he's going to be able to capture it for it. That is just a punishing mistake. The whole point is to get that clean movement on deck.
But at this level of play, you can't be making those mistakes, but tensions run high. Here comes the Berserk. He's going to be going full speed, using the double jump as well, just to be a little bit more unpredictable. And that was just a perfect use of Berserk mode.
That was intelligent. You know, that might not be the use you expect Berserk to have, but, you know, use it for what it's good for. Berserk, you know, you might be able to get in there and punch up and be hard to hit and go for hella frags, but if it's better used in situations like this for mobility, then 100% do it. And that's worked out. And as they before, Myztro able to get it back at least. They are controlling the soul.
They have to climb the ranks right here throughout this round. It's a lot of work, but wow, this is actually being a huge nuisance. Using the invisibility, I think, just to keep people further back. The soul's been stolen. They're trying to fight for the power-up. I think if Myztro get this power-up, they're in for a good shot, but if they can't seize it, this might be over.
Myztro need to get the power up and they need to hold on to it as best they can.
Oh,
but no, it's protection and it goes to Sparty. Doomslayer is now fully protected.
And even after all that damage he's took, 6 health, can he survive? He's on 1 HP! Oh, that is unfortunate, and now he's got 50. That is more than enough for him with that protection available. He's on 75. I mean, they have to do all they can, and there we go! That one bit where he survived with 1 HP, and they got the power-up. I think that was all she wrote. They have one more round, and it's all over for Myztro.
The power-up is a game changer. The power-up is the ultimate swing of momentum for whoever picks it up, especially that final power-up, what ends up being the last one of the round. You have to decide. Myztro, they were holding onto the soul, but you know, as we've seen them do plenty of times today, the 4 of them just abandoned the obelisk to try and go, right, leave the obelisk, leave the soul, we'll get the power up, then we'll go back to it.
Well, they had to make a choice.
They did. And it hasn't been against them so far. They've been making that decision over and over and over again. And even if they lose the soul, they then get the power up and use that time to get it back. But that time, they gave up the soul, but then didn't even get the power up. That was so well played by Winrar. And Sparty, the Doomslayer of all the team, is able to pick it up and put it to perfect use. And already Winrar have managed to take Obelisk A again. This is shades of last round, which is not what Myztro wants.
And it was a good sequence at the very beginning. Juvenile, as always, being a huge source of those frags. Myztro get a couple, so if they're able to seize this, then perhaps it's been so difficult for them throughout this entire map.
Trying to get by, but he's just being stopped. No,
Ooh,
gonna get the
nice.
frag on Bus Driver, that mega health. Gonna top him up and give him that confidence he needs to go and finish off the frag. Myztro able to drop it off before Winrar got that much percentage.
But unfortunately can't win the 1 versus 1 against Juvenile. That's gonna be, well, again, that's a game changer. The fact that he lost that.
Hell does have the quad, but he is currently just being chased all over the place.
Oh no!
Oh no, Liz gets the frag on him. And now Liz has taken the quad damage and he has the soul. Perfect situation for Winrar to be in. And now they're going to seize this back and try and take it straight to A. Probably going to be able to do it. Yes, he is indeed. Only 5% on the board for Myztro before.
Plenty of other members of the Winrar salesman team actually sort of defending that obelisk. They're all around it. They're only missing 1 person, in fact, so with no power up in sight, the more numbers, the better.
See Hell running rings around the obelisk, trying to create that denial to try and safely contend, but they just decide to shoot at him with area of effect weapons, like outside of the radius. Worked out for them all. Big rocket damage coming through. It's quite low, has to be very careful now.
Big splash damage playing such a huge part on this point. You can sort of just pepper those rockets. You even see it right there. You know, you can pepper those rockets down from the high ground. But the charge comes out, Myztro. They have the soul right now, but if we've seen anything, it's that getting it back to their own obelisk, that's where the difficulty comes through. But I actually love that totem placement. Everyone's going to get healed up when they try and exit or enter their own obelisk location, but it's going to force Winrar to sort of hold tight a little bit. They can't use that front entrance unless they destroy the totem.
Still is RP finds them quite weak.
Nice.
Yeah, a couple of frags through for Myztro. This is good for them. They are still holding on to it. They do have half the percentage of Winrar, but still doing well for themselves.
The lead is definitely not significant. You know, it's definitely not significant. But what is going to be significant is that 10-second power-up. I know we've been talking about it a lot, but it's been such a ridiculous game changer throughout this entire sequence. It has been the deal breaker for every single round so far. Bus Driver, he makes the reach. Oh dear!
And there we go, revving the gauntlet in hand, manages to destroy them. But it looks like FaZe was able to get the protection, but so weak, he's going to get taken out. He was outnumbered, and now it's Juvenile that has the protection. This is not what Myztro need to deal with. Juvenile has really been that MVP so far in terms of frags, objectives. Crazy is desperately trying to stop him. The acid damage over time.
Oh no!
What damage!
Sparty with the clutch rail. It denied it the protection from Sorlag. That was a game changer right there, and he's going to get hell. They're going to take the soul away as fast as possible. If that rail missed and Razy got the protection, we may not be in this situation right now.
But unfortunately for Myztro, that's exactly what we're dealing with. That double jump to get up through here. Sparty managing to take that soul. Sparty has been doing so well at the moment, 30%. You know, Myztro are barely in the lead. That will soon go now.
I'm liking Doomslayer on this map. I'm really liking Doomslayer on this map.
Oh, 2 frags back Sparty with that surgical rocket placement.
Nice damage from up top. As we talked about, that splash damage on those rockets from up top. Very dangerous tactic, particularly on this obelisk location.
This really has just been the game of Winrar just dominating the power-ups every single time they spawn, and every time they get it, they're able to swing momentum back towards themselves. Razy does have the soul, though. Can he safely get out?
Even though this has been a long round, I mean, the divide isn't that significant.
Indeed.
48 versus 36, that's easily rectifiable.
Either way, always surrounded. And Winrar were waiting in the wings for him to come around the corner, and they sprung the ambush. Juvenile very low. Hell right up in there, but no. Yes, looks like Hell was able to get the frag anyway. Thought perhaps Juvenile maybe turned it around with the gauntlet, but wasn't able to do it in time. Now, they've been able to secure, but 15 seconds, that power up, it's going to spawn again. But if that's 15 seconds of them holding on to it, that's going to give them the lead at the very
Do they try and fight for power up, or this time do they try and hold off for the soul? They have lost one member, FaZe goes down, but they trade it 1 for 1.
And this died later, Bus Driver again.
He's doing it again.
Teleporter, they're going to fall for it again. Wouldn't expect so, but you never know.
Yeah, they're being comfortably kept away. I'm assuming this is going to go into the hands of Winrar, but no, hang on, no, FaZe! Does he get it? But now he goes down.
FaZe picked it up and died. Who was able to get it? Lith was able to just sneak through.
He
and
sees
grab
the
it.
quad, but he just wasn't able to survive. I mean, if you haven't got a lot of health when you take the quad damage, I mean, you may as well not have it. The problem is Lith's mega and heavy. This is a stacked Nyx. And in a few seconds, we'll also have Ghost Walk on top of this quad damage. This is such a horrendous combination to deal with. Here he comes.
Yeah, Lith just went straight into the back line of defenses up top and was able to just take them all down. Throws up the soul. Quad damage is just about to run out. He's on 10 health. Ooh! Hell gets that frag on the bridge. Pushing it on the soul carrier, but it looks like Myztro able to try and get a lot of frags here. They take it straight back again, but it looks like one of Winrar is still here.
I can't believe Juvenile, he's still there, but with 2 health. What a nuisance. And he's going to heal himself up comfortably.
That's exactly where Juvenile needed to be. Myztro, though, they did manage to build up 74% in that time, so Winrar have a little bit of their work cut out to try and bring it back. Well, but Garpy managed to beat him to the punch.
A lot of the quad damage chaos took place kind of in the middle of the map, so if you look at the percentage out of all of that action, Myztro, they've got a nice little lead here.
The new FaZe is trying to run through with that speed. 2 health pickups. Get jump. Oh! 2 gauntlets were revved, and Anarchy hits the floor at top speed.
Actually, I love the choice. I absolutely love the choice to just go so fast. You might have been able to kind of like slip past the 2 members, but I mean, you got to challenge that aim, right? You can still, even if the target is moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you can still take him out. And what a telefrag and a gauntlet! That was disgusting.
Such an important sequence, though. Winrar are only down about 10% at this point in terms of progression. That power-up's not going to be up for another 25, so don't worry about that.
Dear.
Oh no, hits the floor and does a lot of self-damage.
Why do
That's
people
a
keep
big
doing
mistake.
that? Unfortunate indeed.
Totem's going to drop, though. Winrar now looking very close to taking the lead here. For the plasma trail. Uh-oh, it's underneath all of them. He goes up. Yes, he's going to get annihilated.
Nothing he can do about that one. I mean, he had to just try and take out Slash, maybe trade it out. But here's the protection. Hell, unbelievably healthy. He's going to dodge one of the rails, but no, he gets knocked up by the rocket, which means he's unable to take the protection. FaZe has got access to it, but no injection. He's got to be really careful here at 48 HP. By himself, he's still going to be vulnerable.
Oh,
there's the Galena Totem.
The Galena Totem on a protection ally. That is a huge deal to get him back up to full health again. And he is just running through the jaws of death here, trying to get him. Oh no! Oh, he bubbles the rocket jump.
Hopefully he doesn't pay too heavily for that one. You can see Nyx lying in wait. So many members of Winrar have chased him down.
But they're all dying, though. Myztro able to fight themselves back here. As there we go. They are looking to maybe take the lead again here. That power-up is gone and will be gone for probably the rest of the round at this rate.
I mean, yeah, 80 seconds and 15% left to climb. That's not enough time for the power-up to spawn unless the soul is left in limbo, but that is unlikely. Here is the defense once again. A lot of action in the middle of the map.
All right, at this point, though, any frag is important. Lith taking out Garpy. Okay, it's 3v4 temporarily. Any frag they can get now will be game-changing. They have to be so careful. 3 of them here, 4th is following in the wings. One of them drops, 2 of them drops,
1%. They have to get Juvenile and they have to kill him now. They managed to secure the frag. Is that going to be enough? And it is 100% versus 89. That was a crucial round win. They needed that.
That was a perfect ghost walk from Hell. If you guys caught that at the end there, where he just managed to do the classic Slash thing and just run a circle around the obelisk to stop people from contesting them. But doing that when you have 1% left to capture and all they want to do is
what do you do?
That is the best use of, I think, the plasma trail we have seen so far. In that exact moment, it basically guaranteed the win at a point that contesting is all they needed to do.
Oh, Juvenile, he was the last man standing. Even after that mega, you know, he was going to be a little bit inclined to sort of pile in there because he had a nice amount of armor, he had an overcharged health, but that's not enough when there is that many members of the enemy team just lying in wait for you.
Hell paying that plasma trail, trying to deny that obelisk. He's managed to do it though, he is going to die. Juvenile takes him down. 2 of Myztro dropped already, and 3 of them make that 4. All 4 of them been wiped, and Sparty now going to choose the other obelisk this time. There we go, using the Berserk.
Just to guarantee that burst of speed, make sure no one can chase him. You're not really going to be using that Berserk for combat reasons unless very situationally. But they've been able to drop it off towards B. Here comes the power-up. Now, we saw on Burial Chamber, when they were able to have that amazing fight that secured not only the first soul, but the power up quickly.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, looks like Winrar, they take the first soul, they also have the quad damage and are putting it to great use. Winrar starting off this round incredibly powerful.
Juvenile is going to sit sort of pretty outside the obelisk space, just in case. You can see here comes the slash, Hell up behind. Wasting a little bit of time, but unfortunately, because there's no fights taking place, 30% is going to climb very quickly. Garpy on those super nails and quad, I mean, they hurt. They do a ton of damage.
And still though, right as Myztro able to take it back, that's a 30-0 lead for Winrar. This is the perfect start for them. And another frag. It looks like Myztro aren't quite going in as the same level of coordination they had before. Right now, Juvenile is just taking them down one at a time, just pulling them apart piece by piece. Hell tries to run in with the gauntlet, maybe try and catch him chasing.
I mean, they're starting to trickle in one at a time, and that just means they're going to go down. They're forever going to be outnumbered, and they're going to be forever staggering those respawns, so they will not be able to sync up as a four-man unit, and they've given up 50% already.
That's been quite a disastrous round for Myztro. Half progress done already for Winrar. Nowhere near the power-up spawning again, and all four of Winrar are fully stocked on what they need, at least. This going for the range with this railgun, running in a few of them now. This is a bit better for Myztro, but still starting to die one at a time. Breezy drops down on the Ghost Walk, just in case he's feet damage there.
Hell, the quick rail. I mean, it's the accuracy, it's the form. Every single member of Winrar, I mean, they are taking this momentum. They're playing so well with these surgical rails, one after the other.
Oh, gauntlet from above. Manages to fling the soul as far as possible.
Oh,
but it looks like Boss Driver's there ready to catch it. And look, from absolutely nowhere, 2.5 minutes in, 75% progress we're looking to. Okay, Myztro able to clean off the point now, but I mean, this might be too little too late. It is going to be a difficult comeback from this point. The power-up is going to be spawning in just a few seconds. Razy has to just ignore the power-up completely, try and get through. Bus Driver getting a gauntlet kill. The power-up, it was protection, and it has gone to Juvenile.
Oh,
just picks up the heavy armor. This is not good for Myztro.
The heavy armor and the injection to be at full health. I mean, this is a tall order. They've got to make such a substantial comeback already, let alone the power-up. They're trying to pile in, but he survives. That is the strength of an Anarchy with this protection. He walked into hell and laughed in its face, and he's still alive.
Oh, hell comes down the corner with a gauntlet, but it doesn't quite connect. You can see Myztro here trying to beat them to the point, and they have got two of them here. Protection just about to wear off, so now he's very much a vulnerable Anarchy. There goes in last, though. Make sure he's not the easy target.
Oh.
He gets taken down by Razy. Did he drop it off first, or did he get there in time?
I mean, the Myztro guys, they've got to wake up. They have such a ridiculous deficit of percentage. They need to make this comeback, and it needs to be swift.
Still, though, it looks like it is going to be Hell that has the soul. Garpy going to take him out. Hell trying to find safe passage back. He is going to. There's the gauntlet again. Bus Driver there waiting. That plasma trail just trying to stop him from getting followed. The Ghost Walk as well. Trading out abilities for abilities here. Oh, Myztro desperately try and hold on to this. He does use teleport, but Juvenile takes him out.
He would have been able to get that frag on the teleporter, but there was just too many members of Winrar underneath, just peppering up.
Again, if Winrar can safely get themselves back to the obelisk, this is going to be a disastrous situation for Myztro to be in. Already have someone here trying to stop.
Nice dodge on that rocket. Oh, forced to use his acid spit, but doesn't manage to secure anything. Can they escape? It's unlikely. And they've been able to deliver it back. 80%, I mean, 20% is the difference between moving on and being eliminated. And Myztro, they've got a lot of work to do and not much time to do it in.
Yeah, this is going to be tough now. Approaching that 90% mark. 90 to 13. Myztro, the odds are efficient against them. They're going down one at a time again. Garpy was able to get a frag, but still not quite enough at the moment. Liths is there. Does he have hold of the soul, or is he still there? Yes, looks like I managed to at least stop the progress. It is going to be recaptured. No, Hell is able to stop him. That was very important.
Excellent movement just to get there just in time.
The quad damage has gone to Sparty. That is not good for Myztro.
But he goes down. Wait a minute.
Who's picked it up?
Where's it gone? Now Garpy with the quad damage. This goes out. They need to make sure that this power-up is the absolute game changer. They deliver. Now, they haven't got a huge amount of quad damage left, but it needs to be enough to make a difference. But because he stood in the acid, he was just taking too much damage. He did not want to take at all. Razy with the pickup.
Razy was able to swoop in and confirm that quad damage anyway. By himself, will probably be able to hold on to this. Now, Myztro, this is going to be a mammoth ask at this point. With this much of a point deficit between them and Winrar being at 90%, having so much less work to do. If they can hold this, it will be incredibly impressive, but very difficult.
Oh, he misses the rail, but he does manage to pepper a bunch of acid spit. Even if he goes down, the damage is going to be unignorable. There we go, Razy from the grave. gets a very important frag on
Actually seemed like he got
Nyx.
a double kill from damage over time acid, like from beyond the grave. That one moment to just spray the whole corridor was all he needed to secure that defense for a little while.
I really like that totem placement on Rocket. Garpy's making, I mean, because the Rocket is such a powerful weapon on this map in particular. If they want to go for Rocket, they either have to waste time by destroying the totem, or they have to take damage to get it on a whim.
Right, they've managed to steal the soul and throw it away. This is good. Myztro here trying to stop it, managed to throw it back to themselves. There's the injection.
Oh, misses the gauntlet! Fantastic movement from FaZe. He was able to duke the gauntlet kill when he gets a double before he gets taken out.
And when we're out there to try and get the soul back, he threw it down. FaZe only just respawned. And Myztro has it, is trying to get himself through. There we go, manages to sneak past everyone and has dropped off Myztro. They let him slip through their fingertips, and they will regret that. They're here, hot on this trail, trying to stop him. FaZe goes down, he's very low. Will drop, yes he will. Garpy manages to take him down, but oh!
Wow. Before the rest of Winrar were able to follow suit, and now they only need 4% more. This is a huge amount of work to do. Can Myztro pull this off?
4 to 45, that's significantly more effort. Power-up's going to be up as well. It is there, it's protection, and it goes to Juvenile. This is a bad look for Myztro.
I feel like Myztro, if they weren't going to get this power-up, they were probably praying it was going to be quad. He's still weak. Can they get him? He's so weak. 5, 4, 3 health. And there he goes, but is it enough? Was it too little, too late? Bus Driver has it now!
Oh no, they managed to take out one protected opponent. Now they need to do the same thing, back to back for a second, and it's going to be Solak too, trying to get himself through. 16 health, he gets taken out! And the protect is picked up by FaZe momentarily, but he is getting just juggled in the corner with rockets, but he manages to sneak himself through, trying to capture this back.
And he uses the speed boost to very swiftly deliver.
Now the important thing with that protection, Winrar weren't able to get a single percent up with that protection being there. Myztro, they have delayed another power-up spawn. They're doing really well so far, but Winrar are making this so difficult for them.
Here comes those super nails, just to create that area denial. Combine that with the plasma trail, and you have a disastrous thing to defend against. They need to get 25%, but there are a lot of members. Juvenile gets the double. This may be the start, but he himself gets taken out by Garpy. Hell, soon to follow.
Oh dear, trying to stop. He's trying to do as much damage as he can with a shotgun. Managing to take one of them out, but he is severely outnumbered as Razy is Sparty. He's going to be able to pick up that soul, trying to move through. They are very weak, but moving as a unit, trying to top himself up. That one health himself at them, trying to stop. This is exactly what they need to secure this back again. This is going to be so difficult for Myztro.
Garpy gets a double kill on the totem, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. That might be too little, too late. 1% left.
No, he's contesting it. It's going to be Hell. Hell managed to do it. FaZe from that distance, that rocket. Well, I say rocket, that single shotgun. Damage doing enough. FaZe very weak, trying to get himself through.
They need to get out alive. I don't know if he can. He's been able to slip through, but no, Juvenile with the regular shotgun does enough damage. They bounced it off the wall, accidentally fumbles the toss, but it might not matter. Everyone is so weak.
Apart from Sparty, who now has the soul, he actually had the mega health, but taking so much damage here. All of Myztro hit in force. Oh, there we go, runs straight through and plows him out of the way with the gauntlet. Trying to bring the soul back. FaZe trying to find his way safely through. Has to be so careful. Quad damage is up, and it is on Juvenile.
Oh dear. I mean, he can't take a single hit. He gets hit by one thing. He's having to wait out that soul and has to be so careful. But here comes Juvenile. He's got them heavy armor also. This is one dangerous champion, and he gets Hell. They have to try and find him. They're not going to know where he is just yet. No, he's wasted a lot of time.
That was so smart from FaZe. Oh, Patience, the totem! The Galena coming through. Garpy getting that combo with a totem into a rail, doing so much damage. And it was able, that FaZe was able to drop it off. And Razy actually able to drop the quad damage at the time. Very important frag.
See where the soul is. It's 1%. They've been able to drop it off. Is that enough? Is that too late?
Somehow the soul was stuck away. We didn't see it.
Oh, there we go. It was a hard-fought battle. But unfortunately for Myztro, their journey in DreamHack Denver is going to end here. I mean, they got the soul at the last minute. They weren't quite able to seize it away. You maybe thought the power-up, they were able to do such an amazing job of stalling the soul, but it must have just been that FaZe just got taken out at the last minute. Unfortunately, we didn't see it. Sorry about that, guys, but I mean, wow, that was a crazy series from start to finish.
That was indeed. Somehow in between that final moment of FaZe being patient, waiting out the majority of the quad damage, finding his moment to sneak through and drop off the soul, but then seemingly immediately losing the soul and it going straight away back towards Winrar. Like, at some point, they found the time to do that, but also hold off that final percent. That was as back and forth as we were hoping it was going to be. And Winrar are going to be coming off away. The winners, they will be able to play against Wait For Us to find out which of those two teams will make it to DreamHack Denver to play for that cash money prize pot. I mean, but that was a great series. A really good game overall. And super happy that it came down to be that close.
It's nice seeing how teams are approaching Sacrifice now. There's been a little bit of extra time, you know, within the game mode. You know, since we went through the QWC into now, you know, it's not been a huge amount of time, I know that for sure, but in that time, it's enough to sort of get a little bit more comfortable on the existing maps and then learn the new maps as well, with Tempest Shrine being an inclusion. We may see that throughout the course of the day, but we have one more series left to go from an EU side, and it is going to be Wait For Us versus the Winrar sales team. So that's going to be quite a hard-fought battle, but this will in fact be the qualification match. And while we set that up, we're going to go for a quick break.